Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
She announced it over breakfast, scrolling through her phone while I buttered her toast the way she liked it. Lightly, edges crisp. "Vegas, baby," she crowed, flashing the screen at me. "For nights, me and the girls. We booked the suite at the Bellagio. Flights leave Thursday." I paused mid-slice. This was Tuesday morning. I'd heard nothing about it until 30 seconds ago. "Sounds like a blast," I said, sliding the plate toward her. "Which airline? I can drop you at the airport if the timing works." She lowered her phone and gave me that half-laugh, half-scoff she reserved for when I apparently said something ridiculous. "Ethan, seriously? You're not my dad. I don't need you tracking my flights." She turned to Mia, who had just breezed in from the guest room carrying an overnight bag she'd clearly left here weeks ago. "Tell him," Mia snorted. "Girl, independence looks good on you." Then Lauren appeared in the doorway, coffee in hand, and Sophie trailed behind her, already filming the whole thing vertically on her phone for stories. All four of them filled my kitchen like it was their personal green room. Lauren leaned against the counter. "Let the man breathe, Kayla. He's just jealous he's not invited." Kayla rolled her eyes theatrically. "Exactly. Ethan, stop trying to control where I go and who I'm with. We're not married." The room erupted in laughter. Sharp, bright, synchronized, the way only a tight friend group can manage. Sophie zoomed in on my face for the punchline. I set the butter knife down gently. The toast was cooling. The coffee was getting bitter. Something inside me went very still. "You're absolutely right," I said, voice calm, almost warm. "My bad. Have an amazing time." Kayla blinked, thrown off by the lack of pushback. She recovered quickly, gave me a triumphant little smirk, and pecked my cheek like she just wanted debate. "Thanks for understanding, babe." She grabbed the toast and took a bite. "We'll FaceTime from the pool or whatever." They swept out in a chorus of goodbyes and perfume, leaving the front door wide open and a trail of glitter eyeshadow on my countertop. I stood there for a long moment, listening to their car doors slam and engines rev. When the street went quiet again, I exhaled. "Not married. No say. Message received. My name is Ethan Harper. I own a small craftsman house in Portland, the one with the dark green siding and the big maple out front. I bought it 4 years ago with an inheritance from my grandfather. My name is on the deed, the utilities, the security system, everything." Kayla moved in 8 months ago after her roommate bailed on their lease. She brought 3 suitcases, a ring light, and an energy that turned my quiet space into constant motion. Friends over, music loud, ring light photo shoots in every corner. I'm a sound engineer. I work from the converted garage studio, mixing tracks for indie bands and podcasters. My days are headphones, waveforms, and the occasional walk to the neighborhood brewery. Kayla is an influencer, makeup, fashion, lifestyle. Her audience calls themselves the Glow Gang. She has a crew she calls her sisters: Mia, Lauren, Sophie. They descend regularly, leave ring light burns on my walls, and treat my fridge like a 7-11. I never minded much. I liked seeing her happy. I liked coming in from the studio to find her dancing in the kitchen. I told myself that's what relationships were: compromise, noise for the sake of love. But standing there alone with the open door letting cold air in, I felt the compromise tilt hard in one direction. Thursday morning, she left in a flurry of selfies and carry-on luggage. I waved from the porch like, same calm smile I'd worn in the kitchen as soon as her rideshare turned the corner. I closed the door, locked it, and got to work. First stop: Mr. Delgado next door. He's 78. Retired Navy, keeps binoculars by his front window for bird watching. The man knows every car that parks on our block and every package that gets delivered. I brought him a 6-pack of the IPA he likes and sat on his porch glider. "Mr. D, I need a favor," I said after the small talk about rain and the Trailblazers. I told him everything: Vegas, the toast, the public declaration that we weren't married, and I had no say. He listened without interrupting, nodding slowly. When I finished, he chuckled deep in his chest. "Son, my Marlene, God rest her, would have skinned me alive if I pulled half of that." You want me to deliver a message when she gets back and can't get in. Just act surprised and repeat what I tell you. Nothing more. He saluted with his beer. Consider it done. Back home, I started the real transformation. Kayla's clothes had taken over both closets. Her skincare filled 2 bathrooms. Her ring lights, backdrops, and box upon box of PR mailers occupied the spare bedroom that used to be my music library. I didn't throw anything out. I was precise that I rented a climate-controlled unit at a facility 15 minutes away and paid for 2 months up front. More than fair that I labeled every box carefully. Spring palette, autumn palette, collaborations never posted, shoes that hurt to walk in, ring light accessories, unopened PR that expired last year. Her vanity went into storage hole, mirror and all. The spare room slowly emptied until the shelves were bare and the floor was visible for the first time since she moved in. Then I reclaimed the house that I hauled the pale pink velvet sectional she'd insisted on to the curb with a free sign. Within an hour it was gone. In its place, I ordered a deep charcoal corduroy sectional with wide arms perfect for setting mixing boards or beer. It arrived Saturday morning. I replaced the scented candles that made my studio smell like a department store with a new turntable and a stack of vinyl I'd been wanting to spin again. The walls, once covered in framed prints of Kayla's sponsored posts, now held vintage concert posters and a huge framed photo of the aurora borealis I took on a trip to Iceland years ago. The kitchen got a proper knife block and cast iron pans. I hung my grandfather's old acoustic guitar on the wall where her neon good vibes only sign used to glow. Saturday afternoon, I drove to the record shop downtown and spent too much money on albums I'd missed. On the way home, I stopped at the Humane Society, just to look. That's how I met Luna. A 3-year-old husky mix with 1 blue eye and 1 brown. Recently surrendered because her family moved, she sat quietly in her kennel, tail thumping, watching me with calm intelligence. An hour later, she was riding shotgun. Head out the window, ears flapping in the wind. Back home, she explored every room, sniffed every corner, then curled up on the new sectional like she'd always belonged there. I changed every password. The Wi-Fi became Vegas was fun, right? With a password she'd never guess, I cooked steak on the cast iron for the first time in months, opened a bottle of red, and put on Miles Davis. Luna rested her head on my foot. Sunday evening, I sat on the new couch. Luna sprawled across half of it, vinyl spinning low, waiting. The doorbell camera pinged just after 8. There she was. Sun-kissed, hair in beachy waves, pulling a rose gold suitcase up the walk. She looked relaxed, happy, scrolling her phone. She reached the door, dug for her key, slid it in. Nothing. She jiggled it, frowned, tried again. Then the knocking started. Ethan? Babe? The lock's being weird. Luna lifted her head, ears perked. I muted the record and watched the feed. More knocking, louder. She rang the bell repeatedly, called my name, tried calling my phone. I'd left it on the kitchen counter on silent. After several minutes of this, a light flicked on next door. Mr. Delgado shuffled out in slippers and a robe, holding a flashlight like he'd just noticed the commotion. Kayla? That you, hon? Oh, Mr. D, thank goodness. My key isn't working. Is Ethan home? His car's in the driveway. He's home, Mr. Delgado said, shining the light toward the window so she could see the glow inside. Had himself quite the weekend, actually. Big changes. Changes? Yep. Told me you two aren't married. Said he doesn't get a say in your plans, so he figured you wouldn't mind if he didn't get a say in his own house anymore either. Got himself a dog, beautiful husky. Rearranged everything. Looks real cozy now. Kayla went very still. She stepped off the porch and moved to the living room window. I'd left one lamp on. She pressed close to the glass. I watched her take in the new sectional, the turntable spinning, the concert posters, Luna's silver and white form stretched across the cushions, and me sitting calmly with a glass of wine, her mouth opened. No sound came out at first. Then she exploded. She pounded on the window, shouted my name, pulled out her phone and started texting furiously. I finally picked up my own phone. The messages poured in, confusion, demands, anger in escalating caps lock. I typed one reply. You made it clear we're not married and I don't get a say. I agree completely. This is my house. Your things are safe in storage, Unit 19 at Cascade Storage on 82nd. Code 4820. 2 months paid. After that, it's on you. Enjoy the rest of your trip. I attached a photo of the storage receipt and hit send. Then I blocked her number. On camera. She read it. Looked up at the window again. Back at her phone. She screamed, a raw, frustrated sound that echoed down the quiet street. She kicked the suitcase, hurled a few choice words at the house, then stormed back to the porch and kept ringing the bell until Mia's car pulled up 20 minutes later. They argued on the sidewalk for a while. Eventually, Qley threw her bag in the trunk and they drove off. Monday brought the expected online fallout. Qley posted tearful stories about betrayal, about needing space from toxic situations, about women supporting women. Cryptic captions over black and white photos of her looking wistfully into the distance. Her friends piled on, quotes about red flags and knowing your worth. That I waited 3 days. Then I made my own post, private, only to mutual friends and a few industry people. First photo, the living room from 2 months ago, pink velvet, ring lights, neon signs, piles of unopened packages. Caption, before. Second photo, the same room now, charcoal sectional, record player spinning, Luna asleep with her head on a vinyl, sleeve warm lamplight. Caption, after. Third photo, Luna and me on the porch at sunset, her head in my lap, both of us looking content. Caption, decided to take some advice to heart. Turns out when someone tells you exactly where you stand, the kindest thing is to believe them. Living my best single life with the best new roommate. Freedom sounds pretty good on vinyl. I added a short clip of Luna chasing her tail to a jazz record. The response was immediate. Friends who'd messaged me privately with concern now laughed in the comments. The tone shifted fast. People saw the full context. Qley's post slowed, then stopped. Word trickled back through mutual acquaintances. She'd stayed with Sophie first, then Lauren, then tried Mia again. Each stay shorter than the last. Eventually, she moved back to her mom's place outside Salem. She sent one email through a friend threatening legal action over her abandoned property. I forwarded it to the lawyer who handled my house closing. He replied with a polite letter attaching the deed, proof of sole ownership, and a gentle reminder that guests don't acquire tenancy rights after 8 months of contributing exactly 0 toward mortgage or utilities. Nothing came of it. 2 months later, I was at the dog park on a Saturday morning, throwing a frisbee for Luna. She launched herself after it like a silver arrow. A woman approached cautiously, hands in her coat pockets. Ethan? I turned. It was Sophie, hair in a mom bun, no ring light in sight. Hey, I said, keeping my tone neutral. She shifted her weight. I just wanted to say I'm sorry about how everything went down. We were harsh. Qley was harsh. You didn't deserve that. I tossed the frisbee again and watched Luna bound away. She said what she meant, I replied. I just finally listened. Sophie nodded, watching Luna return and drop the frisbee at my feet, tail wagging. She hates her job at the mall now, she said quietly. Keep saying you ruined everything. But honestly, you look good, happy. I scratched Luna behind the ears. I am. Sophie gave a small smile and walked away. That night, I cooked pasta on the cast iron, opened another bottle of red, and put on Coltrane. Luna sprawled across the rug, occasionally thumping her tail to the saxophone. The house smelled like garlic and sounds filled every corner, warm, rich, mine. Sometimes people tell you exactly who they are. The trick is believing them the first time, and then building the life they accidentally gave you permission to live. Luna sighed in her sleep, dreaming whatever. Dogs dream about. I raised my glass to the quiet room and smiled. Freedom never sounded so good.